Welcome to The Cauldron. We're serving up our thoughts about neurodivergent life, business ownership, and ADHD-friendly systems. Let's see what's bubbling today. Today we are talking about permission versus enabling. So where's the line between this system doesn't work for my brain and I just don't want to do hard things? This is a loaded question. Am I working with my brain or am I just making excuses? Such a loaded question because neurodivergent people, I think we ask ourselves this constantly. Neurotypical people rarely have to question whether their needs are legitimate or if they're just being lazy. And I think with this question, the stakes feel so high because if you get it wrong in either direction, you're really screwed. If you think everything is enabling, you burn out trying to force yourself into systems that don't work. If you think that everything deserves permission, then you never push through necessary discomfort and nothing gets done. And this question, I think, brings a serious danger of shame, again, in either direction. If you are burning yourself out, trying to force yourself to do things rather than giving yourself permission, then the shame is there that you just like, why can't I do this? Why can't I just do this? Everyone else seems to be able to do this. If you are enabling yourself and you're never pushing through that necessary discomfort, there's shame there because you feel like you're falling behind. You feel like everyone else is somehow worlds ahead of you. You probably on some level are aware that you're enabling yourself and there's a shame there. What we are actually doing today is having an honest conversation about where the line actually is, how to tell the difference, and what to do when you're not sure. So let's dig into this. Elliott has watched me wrestle with this question for however long we've been married, 13 years. So where do you want to start?
Okay. I feel like I enable your pernitions.
Try that again.
I feel like sometimes I am enabling your permissions.
Okay, can you
Permissioning your enables.
do you feel like you enable me?
Yeah, in some cases.
Like, dig into that. What do you mean by that?
Is this a safe space?
Yes, of course it's a safe space.
Speaking neurodivergently, I guess, like I kind of get in my own way where you're coming from in what am I capable of or what I should be doing. And I have a hard time like drawing that line for you. And sometimes you look for that from me. And like, for example, I don't think you should on yourself. I don't want that for you. I don't want anybody to deal with that. That sucks. But when you come to me like, should I be capable of this? There's so many things that I know you are capable of, but it might not just be a good day for it. We talked a bit about it last time. It changes.
Yeah, there's fluctuations.
Yeah. And so the answer to that question might differ. The answer you hear feels permanent. Like, hey, I need help with this. Oh my gosh, he needs help with this. I should have been able to do this. He's been thinking he needs help with this for so long.
Okay, let's get specific because I feel like this is maybe too vague for the audience.
Okay.
Let's use as an example the laundry.
Laundry.
That's an easy example.
Yeah, I'm looking at it.
I folded a load today.
You did a good job.
Thank you.
So I might come home and go, I still kind of have work brain on and I'm going to do laundry because I still have go mode. And then you look at me like, I failed you. And you need to stop because you've worked all day. And then my brain is like, if I don't do this now, it's never going to get done. And then you be like, it shouldn't be that way.
Yeah, that's exactly, you've nailed it right on the head.
Yeah.
That is exactly what goes through my brain.
That's laundry.
In my brain, this is what happens.
Okay.
You come home from work. You come upstairs. You see that the laundry has not been touched. And you go, God damn it. It's what you said before. If I don't do this, it's not going to get done. But in parentheses, derogatory. If I don't do this, it's not going to get done because she won't do it, because Anna doesn't do it.
Yeah, no, I don't do that. I don't do that part.
Yeah, and I think that I know that you don't do that part, but in there, like the reptilian part of my brain, I'm like, oh, he's so mad at me.
He got me.
He's so disappointed in me.
For me, with so much of this stuff, it's not a finger pointing. It's this thing exists, and I hate that it does. Fill in laundry, fill in cleaning, fill in
The car registration.
yeah, fill in figuring out dinner.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, I had a whole conversation with my mom today about dinner.
All these things are perpetual,
They never end.
and I still hate that they are a thing.
Yeah.
So it's not to you,
It's just,
is.
right.
Yeah. How do you fix that?
That's a good question. And that's just for like household stuff.
Sure.
There's people who are neurodivergent who are like, why can't I just hold down a job? Is it because I genuinely struggle and I need to give myself permission to like struggle? And sometimes that means losing the job. Or is it, I don't want to do the necessary difficult thing that is required of me in order to keep a job? And I think that that is such a delicate line. And like you said, it could be you could be on either side of that line day to day.
That's fair. I think the trap, and I've heard you say it, the trap is what's wrong with me.
The shame.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe there's multiple layers to this question.
Oh, no.
It's not just how do you tell the difference, but also how do you move past the shame, regardless of what side it's on.
Sure. And you have the answer. I'm excited to hear you say it.
Oh, I don't know about that.
Yeah.
You sure about that?
That's what you brought me on for, to tell me all your great ideas.
Let me interject a small story about a conversation I had with my therapist last week. Because we were talking about vulnerability. Okay? Stay with me here.
I'm staying. Go on.
Okay, so my conversation with my therapist, because, I have read every book that Brené Brown has ever written. And it all came to light later on that she was stealing the work of Black women. And that is something that I've had to, reckon with.
What?
Because I got so much out of her books initially.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, doesn't that suck?
That sucks.
So she was stealing a bunch of stuff from Black women, but and I'm trying to go back and read the work of those Black women to get it from the source basically. But in the meantime, all I have to go on is what I read in Brené Brown's books. So this is what I was talking to my therapist about.
Okay.
One of the problems that I have had with Brené Brown's work is that she talks so much about the value of vulnerability and about making yourself just completely vulnerable and how that is the antidote to shame. But I think that she missed something. She missed a part of it because her books are about vulnerability and there's no power behind it. You're vulnerable, but what do you do with that? And so I feel like I've done a pretty good job in my journey of not self-discovery, in my journey of learning about myself.
Sure.
So yes, that is self-discovery.
That would be.
In my journey of self-discovery, I have learned a lot and done a good job, I think, of making myself vulnerable, opening up to people. But then I'm like, okay, now what? Now I've made myself vulnerable to these people, and I just feel like a slug. Like a vulnerable slug, because I don't have there's nothing behind it. There's no depth to that. And I think it's a great starting point.
Kind of foundation.
Yeah, it's a great way to approach it, and it is a great way to let go of shame, because by making yourself vulnerable, you're saying it's okay that I'm wrong. It's okay if I'm wrong, or it's okay that there's this part of me that I'm unhappy with, and I'm okay being open about it, and that sort of steals shame's thunder.
It boggles the mind hearing you talk about this, and that there are people out there that do not feel or think this.
Or that they don't feel shame.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that is another point I have about neurodivergence, because I do think that we as neurodivergent people are more susceptible to shame partially because we are raised with this feeling of either like being too much or being not enough.
Sure.
Or there's something weird and different about us.
Mm-hmm.
And we learn to hide those things. If you have ADHD and you're boisterous as a child, and your parents are constantly telling you to be quiet, and they're constantly telling you to calm down, you are going to internalize that. And you are going to feel shame about being loud. So when you are in a situation as an adult where
maybe you need to be loud.
Right, you're going to struggle with that.
Yep.
Or where you find yourself being loud and you suddenly realize that you're being loud and you get embarrassed.
It's a constant second guessing.
Yes.
That is every day for me at work, just all the time.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Especially when I'm getting to know someone new, whether it be a customer or it's a colleague on the same side of the counter as me. Especially when I'm training someone new and I'm trying to make sure that they understand everything that I'm going through. I'm not trying to make them feel stupid. I also really want to make sure that I am hitting on all the topics necessary. But sometimes I see a look and I can't tell. Is it the look like I'm understanding this? Is it a look of you already said this? And they're being polite, like not interrupting me.
Yeah.
And I constantly, I'm like, I just need to get through this. I need to get through this. And sometimes maybe I am saying it 2 or 3 times in different ways, but they need to hear it and it's important. And then I'll go to lunch. I'll be like, maybe I shouldn't have done it that way.
It's like this layer of self-awareness and this layer of metacognition that's like you're constantly thinking about how you're thinking.
Yeah.
And thinking about how you are existing and acting in the world. And there are people who just exist.
Which is,
in the world.
It's so cool.
I mean, it must be liberating.
Yeah.
Can't relate.
No.
So that's the thing. We have this shame that comes from our brains being different. We have this shame that is born out of our neurodivergence. If the antidote to the shame is vulnerability, here I am being vulnerable. But all I'm doing is saying, here's how I'm vulnerable. Where do you go from there?
Where do you get power from vulnerability?
Where do you get power from vulnerability? It is, well, the way that this relates to the question that we're asking today about permission versus enabling. Let me tie it all back together. The power is in asking yourself the question, am I moving toward something that works, or am I moving away from something that requires effort? It is easier to open yourself up and be vulnerable and say, this is my reality. This is my shame. I'm opening it up. I'm exposing it to the light of day. And then just lay in bed and wallow in your vulnerability.
Yeah.
Rather than embodying the next step, which is, how do I move forward from here?
Yeah.
How do I move towards something that works for me in a way that shame did not? Permission looks like, this is hard, or this isn't working. I need to either move through this discomfort to figure out what will work, or I need to build something that will work myself. Enabling looks like, I can't do hard things, so I'm not going to try. So that's what I mean by, are you moving towards something that works? Are you giving yourself permission to try things that are not going to work? Are you giving yourself permission to let go of things that aren't working and try something different? Or are you just moving away from effort? I love to move away from effort. That's why this episode is so vulnerable for me, because I get stuck here.
Yeah.
Things feel really, really hard.
Mm-hmm.
And when they feel hard and I feel tired and I fear that I'm never going to find the thing that works,
Mm-hmm.
I love to quit.
Find a cave.
I love to be in a cocoon.
Yeah.
And I think there's time for that, and there's room for that. When you try something and it fails and you're bummed and you're feeling vulnerable,
Yeah.
it's okay to wrap yourself up in several blankets and be sad for a day. The danger for me is that I will stay there.
Mm-hmm. So, is it something you check in with yourself? Is it something that I'm thinking for the folks out listening? Like I it's something we talk about.
Mm-hmm.
It's something I'm checking in with you on.
Mm-hmm.
Are they checking in with themselves? Can they look at themselves in the mirror? What's a good way to figure out that difference when it's you? Find a community. Shameless plug.
Oh, are you asking me to shameless plug?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is absolutely something that is part of the Hearth, my community.
Right.
We absolutely we'll catch ourselves overthinking something or spinning our wheels on something. Or, for example, one of our members, Jenny, had the opportunity to put together an art show. She's a fabulous artist.
She is.
She's just amazing.
Yeah.
And she had the opportunity to put together an art show, and when it was time for her to put everything together, she was second guessing herself really badly. And she was getting ready to bow out of the art show and not do it at all, because it was a lot of work. It's a lot of work to put those things together and to finish things in time, to force yourself to finish those things in order to have them ready. And so she brought it to the group. She was like, is it worth, doing all this work? I feel like these pieces aren't fully finished and I'm not fully happy with them. I'm not ready to show them. And we all came into the chat and said, you have to do what's right for you, but it's okay that they're not all the way finished to you.
Yeah.
You can show these as pieces in progress. You can show these as, this is what my process looks like. You can show these as, to my eye, they looked done.
Sure.
So you could absolutely show them as done and everyone would believe you.
Mm-hmm.
It's just that you see that little line that you want to tweak, that little thing that you want to fix.
It's never ending. Yeah.
And she ended up doing the show.
That's so cool.
And she sent us pictures in the chat, and it was like the pride in that, and how proud we all were of her, but also how proud she was of herself for doing that. And that it is exactly that element of community that you need, because if Jenny had just been in her room thinking through this on her own, I don't know that she would have come to that same conclusion. So that's an opportunity that thing gave her. And did she have to push through necessary discomfort? 100%.
Yeah.
But it wasn't something that she was unable to do. She was very inspiring.
What other questions would one ask if they don't have that community necessarily?
If you don't have a community that can reflect things back to you and have you think about them in a different way, you can ask yourself. The main question, the key difference is, I already said it. Are you moving towards something that works or away from all effort? Permission requires experimentation. So if you are straddling the line between permission and enabling, ask yourself, is this something I am experimenting with, or am I avoiding experimentation?
Gotcha.
Because it's that principle of testing and adjusting and testing and adjusting that is I'm giving myself permission for this thing to not work for me in this iteration. I'm giving myself permission to try this thing that may not work.
Not run the same old that
right.
I know is not necessarily working for me.
And eventually you're going to hit on something that does work.
Sure.
And then you're going to stick with that thing for as long as it continues to work.
Yeah.
So that's the key question is if I'm moving towards something that works or away from effort.
Mm-hmm.
There's also, though, the matter of like accommodation. ADHD is a disability. Autism is a disability. Like they are classified as disabilities. They are often seen as invisible disabilities because you can't look at someone and say that person has ADHD just from the way that they look, as opposed to like a person who's missing a limb. You look at that person and you say that person is disabled. And that's not a value judgment. It's like reality.
Mm-hmm.
That person with a visible disability needs accommodation. If someone is in a wheelchair and they go into a building that has a second floor, they need an elevator.
Right.
That's an accommodation. And nobody bats an eye that that person needs that accommodation. Why do we then fight accommodating ourselves so hard?
I think it's interesting because, like, having kids who are neurodivergent, needing a 504,
Mm-hmm.
We've talked about it and set them up for success best we can. And we go into those conversations with their teachers and such, and I go, oh my gosh, I wish I had this for work.
Right.
I wish I had time set aside where I could catch up on this because my brain was not able to during this time, and that just doesn't exist right now.
It doesn't exist for most corporate jobs, and you work, it's essentially a corporate job.
Oh, I'm corpo, yeah.
And one of the things that I appreciate about doing my own thing and building my own business is that theoretically, I can build in accommodations for myself.
Yeah.
Do I?
Not always.
No, not always. Because for whatever reason, whether it's like I'm comparing myself to someone else and how they do business, and I think, oh, I should be able to do that the same way. Or accommodating would take time that I feel like I don't have.
Mm.
Or I convince myself that I don't have that kind of time.
Or you convince yourself that for some reason you're better than that.
Which is, when you say it like that.
That's crazy.
I don't
to
like
me.
that. I don't like that. I don't like that you said that, but I accept it.
I say that because it's not a thing.
Yeah.
You're exactly how you are, and that's perfect. You don't have to think if you were a better. It's never crossed my mind.
Where were we?
The questions.
Experimentation. Am I letting myself experiment here, or am I avoiding experimentation? Another question is this sustainable? Which is part of that test and adjust cycle. So let's go back to the laundry.
Okay.
Permission would be, I can really only manage one load of laundry a day. Enabling would be, I can only do the laundry if I feel like I can. Because I literally never will feel like I can.
Sure.
So permission is, I only have to do one load of laundry a day. Enabling is, I have to do laundry when I feel like doing laundry. And then asking yourself, is this sustainable? Is one load of laundry a day sustainable?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we probably have to do some catch up at some point with like towels and stuff.
Sure.
But we could do one load of laundry a day and have clothes to live in. If I only did the laundry when I felt like I could, is that sustainable?
No.
No, we would never have clean clothes ever to wear.
Yeah.
So asking that question is another way to figure out if it is permission or enabling.
That's good.
I still don't like the idea that I have to sometimes just push through discomfort. I don't like to be uncomfortable. I don't like to do hard things. My lizard brain is screaming, that's because you're lazy.
Yeah, it's also maybe that mentality of, the pull yourself up by your bootstraps or whatever.
Fucking bootstraps mentality, man.
Just do it. Just do it. And like, I get it, because also who wants to, but also I definitely don't. It's hard.
Maybe that's the point of this episode.
It's hard.
It's hard.
And that's okay.
And that's okay. You know what else is okay? That something works right now but stops working later, and you give yourself permission to reassess.
Okay.
That's also okay.
Yeah.
What works now might not work later. What doesn't work now might work later. And that's okay.
Give yourself that space.
Giving yourself space, giving yourself permission, but not enabling the part of you that just wants to avoid doing things because they're hard. And that is a lesson that I need to learn myself.
Working on it.
We're working on it.
Yeah.
Work in progress. You know what else, and I didn't think about this before, and this might not even make it into the episode because it's a whole other bag of worms. I don't
know that I'm ready for a bag of worms.
Teaching your kids this principle.
And we'll see you next time. No, you're right. It's because there's that shame again where it's like, if I haven't fully figured it out, how am I going to teach my kid?
How dare I think I can teach my kid to do something that I can't even do?
Yeah.
But I see it.
Sure.
I see it in our kids where they're like, this is hard. I'm just not going to do it.
And you're like, fair. But also, can we try?
Let's try it this way.
Different way.
I appreciate you acknowledging that we all have limits.
That is totally valid. And you still need to clean your room.
Yeah. Maybe I was hoping that I would just have it figured out by the time it was time to teach our kids this type of thing. And maybe I was also hoping that in teaching them, I would figure it out for myself.
That's interesting. I think for me, it's a different bag of worms.
Is bag of something a thing?
Yeah, but I'm not saying that.
A bag of dicks.
Yeah.
Maybe it's time to go to bed. This has been the second episode of The Cauldron. Serving up business pasta and potions.
Thanks for hanging.
Thanks for listening. I'll hear you in the next one.
You'll hear me.
You'll hear me in the next one. Signing off.
You don't want to open that bag of whoop ass.